Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the third episode of the fourth season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for offering a link in the description below. Just click on it, put a password in, and enjoy. So this is my third episode of the day. Yes, you know, I'm flying through it. I'm enjoying it, and obviously I can't wait to see what we have in store for us. We started episode 1 with a continuation of Amy and Sheldon. Obviously, they kind of went on a little mini date at the end of obviously season 3. Then they went on to a fully established date in the first episode of season 4, and it was all about Sheldon. Last episode basically wanted to try and preserve his body because he wanted to live into the future, because he wanted to see all of what science and technology has to offer that obviously he doesn't have right now. So it's kind of like FOMO, really. He wanted to preserve himself so he could obviously witness everything. But in today's episode, I'm hoping we circle all the way back round to Amy, if I'm being honest. You know, it's not like I'm a big, massive Amy fan, but it's the same with Bernadette. Where is she? Bring her in, you know what I mean? Bring Leslie back. You know, I love cameos, I love characters, I love additions, and I always think that the more the merrier, and every time somebody's introduced, the episode is more fun. And, you know, that is my hope for this season, to be honest. More screen time for extra characters that we want to introduce into the show. I feel like it's kind of heavily evolved around Sheldon in the first episode, which I have no problem with. And I feel like, you know, what I'm just saying here as well, having Amy back into it would be all about Sheldon again in today's episode, which is totally fine to me if that is the case. And I would love to see more of it. Are we going to continue with Penny and Leonard in this season? I don't really know. They did kind of break up last season, even though I actually really enjoyed them being together. I'm not going to lie. Thought it was going to be weird at one point. Then obviously we established the relationship and I was like, you know what? Rock and roll with it. Wasn't forced. It wasn't pushed. It felt good. It felt all right. I didn't think they needed to break up, to be honest. And I'm glad that they're back friends. But yeah, I would like to see them obviously maybe rekindle. So I'm excited to see what we have in store for us. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
In a world where rhinoceroses are domesticated pets, who wins the Second World War?
Kenya rises to power on the export of rhinoceroses. A Central African power bloc is formed, colonizing North Africa and Europe. When war breaks out, no one can afford the luxury of a rhino. Kenya withers, Uganda triumphs.
Correct.
What the hell are you guys playing?
In it.
It's a game we invented. It's called counterfactuals. In a world where mankind is ruled by a giant intelligent beaver, what food is no longer consumed?
A BLT where the B stands for beaver? Well, beavers eat tree bark. The only tree bark I know that humans consume is cinnamon, so I'll say cinnamon.
Incorrect. Obviously, the answer is cheese Danish.
Mankind builds many dams to please the beaver overlord. The low-lying city of Copenhagen is flooded. Thousands die. Devastated, the Danes never invent their namesake pastry.
Making shit up
This
out
is
there.
ridiculous. You're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
Is he always like this when he loses?
Oh, yes, you should have been here for the great Jenga tantrum of 2008.
I'm going to my room.
Very good, Leonard. But next time, don't tell us where you're hiding.
American Physics Journal on supersolids. It's pretty interesting. This guy's working from a hypothesis.
But
where-
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Don't ruin it for me, man. I printed out a PDF to read on the potty.
Sorry, we're late.
I must take responsibility. I had to stop for feminine hygiene supplies.
I believe she's experiencing her menses.
Actually, I'm not. In order to avoid surprises, I wear them all the time.
Hey, look, it's Shamey. What's new?
Well, just recently I learned that you refer to us as Shamey, and I don't like that. Is she not taking our order?
I should have warned you. One has to navigate a labyrinth of social nonsense before one can be fed here.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk away because I don't want to be here.
It's time we've all gotten together to eat.
You're right. He's a festival of humdrum chit-chat.
Tell us about your work, Amy.
I doubt you'd understand. Sheldon tells me you only have a master's degree. I'm curious as to why we're not eating alone.
They can't function without me.
I think they actually could function without him, to be honest. Do you remember that time when he went to the cinema? You know, basically they didn't want to accommodate for Sheldon and his needs because he wanted to get a Slurpee or whatever it was. And obviously, like, they was like, we haven't got time, going to get food and we're going. We'll leave you here, it's the only viable option. Do you know what I mean? And he actually agreed. Now, to be honest, do you reckon the show's trying to push the name Shamer? Like, as in, she is going to be a thing with Sheldon. And, you know, they brought this nickname in. The only other one that I can actually refer to is, and I know I do it a lot, And if you're not interested in the Vampire Diaries, I'm sorry, but it was the first show on the channel basically that we posted, and with the franchise, we've done over nearly 300 episodes, so it's a massive thing for us. And it was Delana, and obviously, you know, Damon and Elena. You know, you obviously had Stefan and Elena as well as Delana, but I was team, you know, Delana, and that is a fandom that created a name. You know what I mean? They created it and pushed it, and I feel like this show can create... Well, you could create your own, you can start using it, and everyone will start copying, won't they? So maybe she does stay in it, and maybe we do rock with Shamey going forward.
Not my girlfriend. She's a girl, and she's my friend, but there's no touching or unsanitary exchange of saliva.
I'm not sure she's the best fit for our little, how shall we call it, Rebel Alliance.
Oh, I never identified with the Rebel Alliance. And despite their tendency to build Death Stars, I've always been more of an Empire man. You suggesting I terminate my relationship with Amy?
No, of course not. Just have your relationship someplace else.
May I point out that for 8 long months, I suffered in silence as your female companion filled our apartment with her off-key country music caterwauling.
Suffered in silence?
Yes.
Nothing makes beer taste better than cool, clear Rocky Mountain spring water. Where are the Rocky Mountains anyway?
Philadelphia. Think about it, Raj. Where did the movie Rocky take place?
I'm very comfortable here. Penny, dear, why don't you shoot another silver bullet my way?
God, he's an ass when he drinks.
Nah, he's extra
We need to
confident.
start entertaining the possibility that the Shamey could go on for years.
Well, if that's the case, Penny will have to get satellite TV and maybe once a week want to vacuum through this place.
You're not doing that right.
What?
Gimme.
No!
Now, trust me, I do this for my mom all the time. With the grain.
Wow, that is better.
Right, the thing is, I understand where they're coming from, to be honest. You know, Sheldon was like, look, you know, I had to put up with your girlfriend and I never really complained, which he probably did, to be honest. Let's be honest. Like, let's not beat around the bush. He probably did complain. And he's basically saying, so if I've got a girlfriend, which is not my girlfriend, that he says, but, you know, you're going to have to put up with it. But at the end of the day, though, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. It's a tough one, that one, because, you know, just because you're in a friendship group, your female counterpart, do you know what I mean? So, like, your partner or your boyfriend or whatever, it's like, doesn't have to be part of that friend group. So, for example, me and my 5 friends, every time I go out, I don't have to bring my girlfriend to be part of that friendship group. Do you know what I mean? The same way, I don't have to go with her to her friendship group. Now, I understand that Penny become part of the friendship group and she was in a relationship with with Leonard, but at first, when she established herself as part of the group, they wasn't together. Now, Leonard's intention may have been to be together with her, but you take it all the way back to an episode where they kind of broke up, and then Sheldon actually said that he ended up enjoying Penny's company. Do you know what I mean? And that he actually made an effort to go to her apartment and have food. So, like, I understand what he's saying. The fact that, you know, she was there, but at the end of the day, she's friends with the guys, and currently Amy's not friends with the guys, and she seems a little bit different and odd, and they kind of feel awkward around her. So I think it's a fair question or whatever topic to bring up in the current state to say, look, you know, she's not really clicking with everyone. If you want to spend time with her, great. You spend time with her, go on dates, hang out, cool. But when we're out, don't always bring her around because we don't really get along. And I actually don't think that's too bad of a thing to say. It's not really disrespectful. He's kind of addressing it in a proper way. And the more they progress forward and she becomes more friendly with Raj and Howard and all that and Cole, then they can all come back together as a collective group.
Oh God, never again.
I assume by never again, you mean never again will you drink all Penny's beer, then run down to the gas station for a couple of 40s, a box of Slim Jims, and the latest issue of Bombay Badonkadonks. Dang diggy dang dang dang.
That's very offensive.
Yeah, we all thought so.
I brought Amy here to show her some of the work I'm doing.
It's very impressive for theoretical work.
Do I detect a hint of condescension?
I'm sorry, was I being too subtle? I meant compared to the real-world applications of neurobiology, theoretical physics is what's the word I'm looking for? Cute.
You take that back.
Absolutely not.
A grand unified theory, insofar as it explains everything, will ipso facto explain neurobiology.
Yes, but if I'm successful, I will be able to map and reproduce your thought processes in deriving a grand unified theory, and therefore subsume your conclusions under my paradigm.
I move our relationship terminate immediately.
Seconded.
Women, huh? Can't live with them, can't successfully refute their hypotheses.
Thing is, I've said this consistently throughout the show. Obviously, you need scientists to do discoveries, to create obviously groundbreaking technologies and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, like everything that I've seen that these guys do for their job is just theories. What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that happened? It's like, yeah, but what do you actually do? Do you know what I mean? Like, what have you succeeded in? You know what I mean? Like, you've gone to work every single day and just done the what ifs. I need factual stuff. It sounded like she was doing something where she could physically, do you know what I mean? Like, achieve a successful task, if that made sense. Where, like, these guys, Howard, anyway, for example, send stuff into the International Space Station. Although it might be faulty, it might be dodgy, and he might do it wrong. He's actually physically, like, when they laughed at him for making a shelf, yeah? Mate, that's a physical thing that he's done, which I think is really impressive. You know what I mean? Like, these guys write theories and equations on boards trying to solve something. Once it's solved, then it will change the world forever. But while it's not solved, they could do it all their life and never achieve or do anything. You know what I mean? So, like, that's where, in terms of science, I'm not saying they're not needed, because, like I said, once it's achieved, it's amazing. But I always prefer physical, factual, see result signs compared to, obviously, theories like these guys run off.
I hear you broke up with Amy.
A breakup would imply she was my girlfriend. She was a girl who was my friend, who is now a girl who is not my friend.
Well, you breakups, or whatever the hell this is, it can be tough.
Penny, I assure you I'm fine. Yet my relationship with Amy was purely intellectual. There were no emotional bonds, the severing of which would cause me any discomfort.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm a little worried about Sheldon.
Now you're just making a generalization. You know, I'm worried about Sheldon someday setting off a low-yield nuclear device because the cafeteria ran out of lime jello.
We got a cat to keep him company.
You're kidding.
Takes it everywhere. To bed, to the bathroom.
He takes the kitty to the potty? I thought we discussed the P word.
My apologies, Raj, Howard. I'd like you to meet Dr. Robert Oppenheimer. Now, if you'll excuse me, the father of the atomic bomb wants a saucer of milk.
Hey. Oh, no.
That's literally cat people in it.
Oppenheimer was lonely.
The talk.
About what?
Cats, Sheldon. You're clearly upset about Amy being gone, and you're trying to replace her with a bunch of cats. I know about trying to replace someone with other stuff. When I broke up with Penny, I got back into my cello. I built a bunch of model rockets. I got those weightlifting gloves and that 5-pound dumbbell.
All right, fellas, who's in the mood for fancy feast? Well, that's not fancy at all.
Hi, Mrs. Cooper. Thanks for coming.
Where is he?
He's in his bedroom.
Now, when you said on the phone he broke up with a girl, you meant an actual girl, not something you kids whipped up in a lab.
No, she's real. Surprise.
Mom, what an unexpected pleasure.
He said that you were pining for a young lady.
Oh, that's preposterous. I'm not pining over anyone.
Oh, lamb chop. We can quibble what to call it, but I think we can both agree it's creepy.
Mate.
Shelly, dinner's ready.
Coming.
Cats all over. I was gonna say, cats all over is literally, once you get one, you get 10.
Mother thinks you might be losing your mind over me. As a neurobiologist, I was curious.
All right, but you're not fooling me. Whenever you say we have to talk, it means you want me to listen.
Then stop talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the reason I called Amy over was to find out what type of person she is. You two are definitely not suited for each other.
That's a peculiar conclusion. By any standard, Amy is more similar to me than anyone I've ever met.
Good thing that you two decided to end the relationship so I didn't have to end it for you.
Is she countering him?
Amy, after consideration, I believe we may have acted rashly. I propose we resume our relationship and attempt to resolve our differences. Would you like to see my cats?
I would. I love cats. They're the epitome of indifference.
Reverse
He thinks
psychology.
He's such a smarty pants. He's no different from any man. You tell him not to do something, that's all they want to do. Now don't you move. I'll bring over all the food.
No, I can do it.
Well, isn't that sweet?
Gets him every time, do you know what I mean? Mate, that's well cheap, $20.
Here's your cat. And here's your $20.
Oh, he's giving $20 out.
Thank you, Amy. Here's your cat. And here's your $20.
Next.
He's so smart in terms of, you know, like, science, but he doesn't understand anything in terms of conversational engagements and life on the streets, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably walking past a lemonade stand, and when it's like lemonade $10 or whatever it is, like, he's gone over and thinking that they're the ones paying him. Do you know what I mean? That's literally what Sheldon is. But it was interesting in today's episode because I wasn't going to moan, that's not the correct saying, but like I was going to have a say about them possibly breaking up and saying, how have we done that last season with Bernadette? You know what I mean? How have we introduced Bernadette and Howard and then not really had them fall out, but not really see them again? And she's not been around for quite some time now. And then obviously Sheldon potentially gets a girlfriend, which is, in the context of the show, in my opinion, quite shocking, considering he's never really had any engagement with any other, person, female, male counterpart. Do you know what I mean? I never really thought that he intended to ever date anybody, and they've dropped it in, and I'm really intrigued for it. And we're already 3 episodes in, and they've already broken up. I was going to say how disappointed I would have been with that selected, decision, but obviously let the episode play out, see how it goes, and obviously they rekindled the relationship at the end, and they've worked together. Do you know what I mean? And it's probably the first time that we've seen Sheldon actually agree that he was potentially minorly in the wrong. Usually he always disagrees with everybody and he has to have his own way in the final answer. But you'll soon quickly realise that once you're in a relationship with a female, that they've always got the last laugh. You know what I mean? They've got the final say. You do what they say. And, at the end of the day, it's a happy wife, happy life. Said it before, say it again. Do you know what I mean? You got to give and take. Even if you think you're right, if they ask you to apologise, you just say, it's like a kid when the parents say, go over there and just apologise, you know what I mean? And you're like, sorry, even though you don't mean it. That's what you do in a relationship, do you know what I mean? You say it, you do it, you move on, you go forward, do you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see him changing a little bit there, but I'm excited to see them go forward. It's 2 episodes out of 3 that Amy's been in, which is, to me, it's a success anyway, because already it looks like she's going to potentially be in it more than Bernadette was in last season. So, I'm happy for that to progress forward. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. 3rd episode in, Amy's here. I'm liking it. It looked like it wasn't going well for Sheldon. They come to a disagreement and obviously straight away terminated the friendship amicably. Is that how you say it? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't really a big fallout. It was like, look, I disagree with you. You disagree with me. Let's end our friendship. And then obviously you're seeing that basically, in the episode, he was saying that he never really had feelings for her and stuff like that. But like, it's that same old saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. You know what I mean? And, he might have thought that it was just a little friendship that they've got going on. And now she's no longer around. He realised that it's hit him a bit harder than he expected. His emotions are kind of like, going all over the place. And instead of him visibly, showing his face and his crying and his emotions, because we don't really see him do that, do we? I was saying a couple of episodes back, like, he's always seems to be kind of like the content mannerism, you know what I mean? He's kind of always like one monotone, so to speak. And like, if you look at him here, he didn't really look upset, but he was acting out of character. Do you know? He's gone and he's got 1 cat, he's got 2, he's got 3, all the way up to 25. And maybe it was last episode or the one before when I was saying about what do you like better, cats or dogs? You know what I mean? I said that I'm a dog person, I've always had them, and my girlfriend's a cat person, and she loves them, and we kind of met in the middle, and I've got a dog and she's got a cat, and it's like, but she always wants more cats. You know what I mean? Like, I've got the 1 dog and I'm happy and content with him and taking him out and playing with him. But 1 cat's not enough. Needs 2. He gets lonely, apparently, even though he's in the house all day playing with the dog. Need another one. I wouldn't be surprised if one day I come home and she's sat there with the 25 cats that Sheldon's got. Do you know what I mean? That would literally be her dream. So, you always get the crazy cat lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing with cats. Honestly, I promise you. People have cats, they don't have 1. They have multiple. And I understand in today's episode what Sheldon is doing and how he spiraled. Now, I don't think that we're going to continue with them having pets, which I would actually think would be really interesting to see, to be honest, going forward. But he's giving away in the money here at the end of the episode, isn't it? And I like that his mum turned up, a little bit of cameos. You always got to listen to your parents. She threatened him last episode, basically, Penny, didn't she? I think it was with, like, can't remember what it was now. Oh, about reproducing, wasn't it, with Amy? I think it was episode 1 of this season. And he was saying, my mum would love it. And then she was like, yeah, but what about out of wedlock? What about a test tube baby? Do you know, she's not going to love that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fear of the parents, and he's always listening. Do you know what I mean? Anything that she says goes. And again, we was talking about how he trained Penny. Do you know, why he's giving her the chocolates to manipulate her to do things. And I was saying that, at the end of that episode, you can always kind of do it with sex, with Leonard, basically, offer it the females and the guys just follow. Now, in today's episode, it's the same thing with reverse psychology. It actually is. It's a big thing. Like, you say, you can't do that, or you won't do this, or you won't do that. And then straight away in your mind, it's like, what do you mean I won't do it? I'll do it now, 100%. You know what I mean? And it's like, it worked 2 times. One time with Sheldon, one time with Leonard when he went and got the food. It's just a thing that actually goes. You know, say you can't do it, a guy will always want to. So, again, I like the episode because I felt like it was maybe stereotypical, like cat person and like saying you can't do something and I'm just gonna go and do it, but like to me it feels realistic because that is what I've experienced massively in my life, and it feels like it hit the nail on the head. So I enjoyed that bit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.